What's up, people? It's your boy Ronnie Wyman Alexander, and we are doing your weekly call to greatness. Now, this week we're going to talk about something that I'm ashamed. I'm embarrassed. I'll admit it. I don't get shamed too often. Not really shamed, but it's Black History Month, and we managed to go a week. We realized it, but I didn't really respect it, relish it, realize it, like we revere it like we should because the first week it was Super Bowl week. So I talked about the Super Bowl last week. I didn't even address or deal with the fact that it's Black History Month, and I already got some things behind that where it's just it's a distraction. So part of being great is being accountable, self accountability, and us recognizing things and being operating at a higher level. So uh, the reality is, Black History Month is something that, as a society, we all should relish and respect and revere it. Whether we agree with it, recognize it, or see it as such or not, we need to move our hearts to what it is the case. The reality is, Black history is a big part of this country. And if you can hear Black History Month and not have a certain level of reverence for it, then I would honestly ask you to examine your heart because it's so dismissive. Now the reality is, if you got outraged over the events last year, all the racist events, the history, if you get a certain feeling type of way about slavery, if you get a feeling a certain way about the type of fact that the history of this country, then Black History Month is something that should resonate with you if you realize that all of those acts were indeed heinous, um, embarrassing to you, that you are ashamed that your ancestors did those things. Then Black History Month is your opportunity to acknowledge that, or show that, or let that manifest itself. Even if it's something as simple as just recognizing something, recognizing a person of color, or whether it's historical or today, it should be a month where intentionally we are um, recognizing the ugly history of this past in order to move past it. It's just like any situation. Until you can deal with what it is, you can't get where you want to get to from that place. You can. It's the same thing I said about it is what it is. You can, if you're ashamed to be where you are, so you act like you're somewhere else. The instructions that you're going to get are going to be from the place you're saying that you're at, but it's not going to apply to where you are because you're not there. So it's best to let's just own it. Let's just acknowledge it. Let's just revere it. The reality is, it's something that this country doesn't really revere, based on the fact that, I mean, in society doesn't, because like I say, it's already a shared. It's got to be an intentionally challenged thing to revere. Because as I stated, we had the Super Bowl that moved. It used to be January, that moved into February. It's already the shortest day of the month. It's already the month that has the most holidays for it to be the shortest month. We have Valentine's Day, which that's gonna take up the whole next week. We had Super Bowl last week. We got a few days now. We got Valentine's next week. Then we got President's Day. Then we also got Mardi Gras. So we have all these different distractions to draw away from Black History Month. When the reality is, we should revere it more so, and just be intentional about acknowledging the ugly history and drawing closer and uniting ourselves as a nation. That's the reality. This country will not get where it wants to get to until we unite as a nation. Here's a reality. We have Trump believers, and this is something that I thought of the other day. We have Trump supporters who actually feel some type of way right now. And the reality is, I was actually neutral when it came to the election. I saw some benefits to Trump and some problems. I saw some benefits to Biden and some problems. But the reality is, anybody who is pro-Trump or who thinks Biden is going to mess things up, here's the reality. Trump is somebody who did not work on the relationship with African Americans, so much so that people voted him out of office strictly out of emotion because they didn't like how he treated them. So that's where this country is. This country is at a place to where half of it feels that it's going to a bad place, and the other half is like, I don't care if we're going to a bad place. I'm not going to deal with an abusive leader like that. And so as long as we don't realize that, okay, until we can heal the emotion, heal the feelings, heal the scars, heal the damage from our past, we're going to stay divided as a country. Until we can unite, and say, you know what, this is an ugly past. Yeah, certain things happen, but we're not proud of them. We're not happy about them, but it's done. Let's move past it. Instead of saying, oh, y'all are tripping. Oh, let's get over it. Oh, get past it on your own. Until we acknowledge that some things happen that we all need to move past, then we are not going to grow as a country that we need to. We are not going to unite. We are going to remain divided. We are going to remain this chaotic place that we are today. So unity is the key. In order to unify, we must recognize each other. We must look at each other as decent human beings. We must look at each other as whole, equal human beings. So, with that being the case, Black History Month is a month to be intentional about recognizing and celebrating Black history, Black excellence, Black contribution to this country. If you see it as anything other than that, then once again, I implore that you challenge and examine the position of your heart. All right, let's be greater. Remember, smile big, laugh hard, be happy. Y Man out.